It's a violent weekend, a church shooting in Michigan, another shooting in North Carolina. Let's get into this. The shooting in Michigan, and this is, and by the way, both of these guys, there's some similarities. Both of these shooters, they had said to have PTSD, both said to be Marines as well. So we're gonna get into this because a lot of people are talking about how, Donald Trump is responsible for this because he cut funding for, mental health services for members of the military, which is not necessarily true. But I would also remind you folks that not most of you listening, but the haters, that Trump spent his entire first administration trying to get the VA in a better place, which, by the way, is not easy. But we did have a couple of different shootings over the weekend. Church shooting in Blank Township, Michigan. And this guy set the church on fire with gasoline. Then he started shooting. You've got, and Joan, I don't know what the latest you have on the confirmed dead in Michigan. Is it 4 or 5 or 2?
It's 4.
Okay, so 4 people confirmed dead, a whole bunch of others hospitalized as well. The suspect, a 40-year-old former Marine who was killed by law enforcement. His name is Thomas Jacob Sanford, an Iraq war vet, had a couple of flags flying in the back of his truck as well. There was a guy very early on. His name is Chris Johns, who told a local podcaster there in Michigan that he'd actually met the suspect just a few days ago. Now, this guy, Johns, is working on running for city council, and he was canvassing the guy's neighborhood, and this is what he said about the suspect.
And I had an address on my map that I went to, and I came across a gentleman. He was very friendly, and he had interacted positively with me, and then we got out of the vehicle. We started just to talk, and after a short while, the conversation went to the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormonism, and he just made the position multiple times that Mormons are the Antichrist. And he, in not so many terms, said that several times. He gave me his background, but I just walked away from a person who had some very sharp views about Mormons.
So this guy clearly, again, you just heard from this person, knew the shooter, met the shooter. The headline in the Daily Mail reads this, quote, "Make liberals cry again," is the message on this guy's T-shirt that he was photographed as wearing. They do say that he did suffer from PTSD from his time in Iraq. His son also had some pretty serious medical issues as well. And so now, obviously, he snapped. The media is going to make a big deal. I'm letting you know where this is going. Media is going to make a very big deal about the fact that he was photographed wearing pro-Trump shirts. Now, again, we'll have to see where this whole thing goes. But that guy, Chris Johns, the politician that we're talking about, he had also made mention of the fact that Sanford, he may have had a history with the church, because you just heard that they're talking about how he had a problem with the Mormon church. This is more from that interview of that local politician in Michigan who said that he had met the suspect.
And then he went into his background, how he was a Marine. He had served overseas. And again, I'm going to paraphrase because I'm just going from memory, but he, to start new, had moved out to Utah to plow snow. He then began a relationship with a woman who was in the LDS church. And then the conversation changed to tattoos, which he had a lot of, and how he had to have all his tattoos removed in order to be, for certain religious ceremonies. And it was just a piece where I was very careful how I answered, because it's one of those things where I did not know what response was going to be acceptable to him. And then he went to his background.
That's part of what they're saying. Donald Trump taking to Truth Social to condemn the, quote, epidemic of violence in the U.S. in the hours after the shooting. This is what the president said. "I've been briefed on the horrendous shooting that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The FBI was immediately on scene and will be leading the federal investigation and providing full support to state and local officials," the president wrote. "The suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn." President saying this appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. this epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. And again, you're going to have the networks. They're going to talk about whether it's MSNBC, whether it's CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, if I mention them. They're going to be talking about how this guy was a Trump supporter, no doubt. But here's the thing, and I know that I'm already going to, get notes from people saying, why are you talking about the fact that he was a Trump supporter? Because I'm not a hypocrite. And if the guy was, a leftist loon, obviously we would be talking about it as well. But also remember that this guy suffers from PTSD. And I don't know what his issue with the Mormon church is, of the Church of Latter-day Saints. They're trying to figure all of that out. But, this is something that he had a lot of issues going on in his life regarding PTSD, regarding the issues that he was having with his family as well. And again, obviously something related to the church. And, the more you look at the circumstances of this guy, it's obvious, at least to me, it's obvious that this didn't have anything to do with politics. It has to do with just the fact that he was struggling.
Yeah, and from the party that wants to berate the right about mental health, incessantly, they're going to make the politics the front of this, as you stated. And the issue becomes, well, what rhetoric has the right used to demonize the Church of the Latter-day Saints? I can think of none. Mitt Romney being the candidate in 2012 on our side for president. And what we can point to when it comes to Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk's case, what we can point to with the school shootings by the trans shooters is the explicit rhetoric that has come strictly from one side about, we're going to genocide trans people and the right-wingers are all fascists.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. And the problem that the left has is that they can't run from their own statements. They can't run from the years and years and years, really since 2016, since 2015, 2016, when President Trump ran for office and won, where we have seen this over and over again, where the left is demonizing our side. Nowhere has anyone from the right, Donald Trump included clearly, have we demonized Mormons or Christianity. We are all about Christianity. We are all about God. And we're all about, by the way, freedom of religion as well. There's another shooting, by the way, in North Carolina, a Marine. Again, both these guys were Marines. This guy served in Iraq as well. His name was Nigel Edge, He changed his name. Do you know what his original name was? Sean Debevoise, or Debevoise. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. 3 people killed there. The guy, again, had changed his name to Nigel Edge. He had filed a ton of lawsuits. Again, this guy showing, at least to me, issues of mental illness. He had filed a ton of lawsuits, including one accusing a church of trying to kill him. Here's where it gets a little bizarre, even more bizarre. Joan, he was Kelly Pickler's date to the 2012 Country Music Awards.
Oh.
He eventually accused her of trying to kill him, and he filed the lawsuit against her as well. So this guy, obviously a little bizarre, a little, mental health. They say PTSD as well here. He shot up a dockside restaurant, 3 people killed, 8 wounded. So we've had 2 shootings over the weekend, 2 veterans, both said to have PTSD.
Both 40 years old.
Both 40 years old as well.
Yeah. I mean, the similarities it's creepy.
Eerie. Yeah, very eerie. But again, you're going to have the left, and they're going to do what the left does. But the president has done a lot. National Coffee Day, by the way. Joan, how many cups of coffee are you on right now? How many you've gone through?
I'm on 2. I am in need of 3. It's truly a Monday. I need more coffee.
How about you, Sam?
I finished my second. I'm estimating I might need 3.5.
Yeah.
No, for once, I'm only on 2. I cut back my cups of coffee to 2 or 3 a day from the. I mean, remember, you guys don't know this. I used to drink 9, 10, 11 cups of coffee.
What? What?
I used to drink coffee like it was my throat coat. Then I discovered throat coat, and I stopped drinking all that coffee. It's exactly right.
Did you know that the like maximum dose of caffeine you should have in a day is around like 600 milligrams.
And how many cups of coffee is that?
About 80 milligrams of caffeine in a cup of coffee, so somewhere between 6.5 and 7.
Yeah, so I went for many years having way too much coffee.
Yeah. Well, and then they've got these energy drinks now that are 300 milligrams a can.
You wouldn't catch me with those energy drinks. I'm going to say something that's going to date me, but these kids today and these young adults, I don't know what they're thinking with these energy drinks. I think somebody on the staff, I don't know who it is. It's probably, I don't know, it's not me, but somebody drinks these big old monster drinks because I always see the can in the trash can.
In the studio? So it's like somebody who's
It's somebody who's on the air.
Oh.
I mean, in here.
Well,
I don't
if
know
if it's Monster, then it rules out Chad. Chad drinks the Red Bulls. I know
Okay.
that for a fact. So
All
if we
right.
wanted to play detective, we could work our way down to it.
Maybe it's that Murphy Show guy drinking all that stuff.
Explains a lot.
Well, Matt's not high strung, is he? Would you consider Matt high strung?
Nah, no.
Would you consider Matt high strung, Sam?
I would say the potential to be worked up is always there.
You know what I've noticed about Matt is that, and I told him this, I'm not speaking out of turn, like that. He can turn like that on somebody. And I love it. I mean, I love Matt. I love his show. He's outstanding. So anyway, I don't know who's drinking the monster drinks. By the way, real quick, 3879. Good morning. To be honest, I'm a Vietnam veteran. I can testify after a long run with the VA that Donald Trump has made a huge improvement. The VA's biggest problem is being understaffed with doctors. The community care program is a big step forward to help alleviate the shortage problem. That's what I said, with all these. There's 2 shootings over the weekend. Both were said to have PTSD. Both were Marines. Both were 40 years old, and I think both served in Iraq.
Yep.
So a lot of, obviously, similarities there. And one of the things that I said is with both of these guys suffering from PTSD, that is obviously a major issue. It has been a major issue for a long time. And yes, Donald Trump did do a lot in his first administration to tackle that problem that has perpetuated. And so now I think here we are in his second term, and maybe it's time to maybe relook at what else we can do for those veterans that are afflicted with PTSD. I find myself, Joan and Sam, physically angry.
Yeah?
That the National Guard, as they are in Memphis, one of the most dangerous cities in America, if not the most dangerous, National Guard, they're not going to be armed.
But they want you to know that they'll be in easily identifiable uniforms and they will not have their faces covered.
Oddly enough, Joan, that doesn't make me feel any better.
It's just the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It is optics. It is optics. I mean, we have Gavin Newsom. We have Bernie Sanders. We have AOC. We have politicians in both the governorship of the state of California, members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, all screaming that these National Guard members, these members of the National Guard, are, part of the Gestapo and all of that complete and utter BS. Yet they won't be armed, they won't be masked, and they'll be in perfectly identifiable uniforms. I want to know whose decision that was. Do we know whose decision that is?
No.
Is that Governor Lee? Is it his dumbass decision to not have these National Guardsmen and women, whatever, armed? Like, I would like to know whose decision that is.
I don't know, but I can tell you that it goes even further. The National Guard website and the Memphis Police Department both say that these Guard members, they'll be deputized by U.S. Marshals, but they won't be allowed to make any arrests or issue warrants.
So they're just there, what, babysitting?
It feels like eye candy. Like, look at us.
I think back to what I believe Jonathan Fahey said on the show a few weeks back about how you can't institute the policing until something happens.
Right.
Until someone is it. So I guess they're almost trotting people out like bait in a way. That would be my perception of things. What else?
It's kind of the way they did it in D.C., too. Initially, they didn't have weapons, but a few things happened, and they said, okay, we need to arm these people because they're at a loss. They could be
Right.
hurt.
I mean,
So-
we basically had the Democrats calling for, the violence to be perpetuated against these, against either the National Guard, ICE, you name it, and for them not to be armed. I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
It makes them fish in a barrel.
97-56. Governor Bill Lee is all about optics. Now, to be fair, I don't know whose decision this is. But if it's Governor Bill Lee activating the National Guard, then was it his decision not to allow them to carry arms? I mean, I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah.
What I want to see is lasting law and order in Memphis. And if the reality is that, as John Rose told me a few weeks ago, it's only like 600 people that are causing all of the crime in Memphis, then this is a multi-pronged issue. It's a multi-level issue. You've got the crime, you've got the crappy schools, you got the households where there's no father, you've got no respect for the police, and it goes on and on. But I love these people. I think you play the audio, Joan, where it's like, oh, we need housing.
Yes.
Just stop it. Yeah, you know what you need to do? You need to house the criminals in a jail or in a federal prison. That's what you need to do, depending on the infraction. But that's what you need to do, is you need to, I'll meet you halfway. Let's house the criminals in prison. That's what you need to do. I was talking earlier about this photograph in the Tennessean where a woman is holding a sign that says Memphis deserves better. And I do agree with that. Memphis deserves better than to be overrun with a bunch of criminals. I mean, there's some very rich Tennessee history in Memphis. And it could be, I believe that Memphis could be a great city. You've got the barbecue, you've got,
The blues and music scene down there is just insane.
Right. That's exactly right. And so, Amy and I went into Nashville for a great dinner over the weekend. It was an anniversary of sorts. But one of the things that we talked about was it is so nice to be able to come into Nashville and feel safe, because we did. We did feel safe. I realized there are bad parts of Nashville, and we avoid those parts. But let me ask you a question. Do you think the people who live in Memphis or live in the suburbs of Memphis, do you think they go into Memphis for a nice dinner when there's a birthday or an anniversary? I can't imagine that they do.
The food culture there, so you bring up barbecue's one thing, but like Nashville is become a melting pot for all different, areas of Southern cooking, and Memphis just has some down-home stuff. There's a restaurant down there called the Flying Fish. Mm-hmm. My goodness. You may not like fried frog legs now. You try them there, my good. Oh.
John in Lawrenceburg says, very dumb and dangerous idea for the National Guard not to be armed. Their personal safety is a concern to protect themselves, he says, but also to enforce the law and authority. Just dumb optics by the governor, says John in Lawrenceburg. And I totally agree. By the way, other people talking about the VA, because that came up as well. Most people that I saw, that I read, are giving the VA high marks since Donald Trump has made the adjustments that he made. One person said, and I'm getting so many of these texts this morning, I can't keep up. One woman, though, did say that her husband, again, does give the VA high marks when you get in.
Yes.
Do you see that one? She says that, her husband has had issues since 2019. And they're still working on processing his claims through. That is insanity.
Yeah.
Like no veteran, and I will say this, that is a travesty. That is an absolute travesty, because our veterans do deserve better than having to spend 6 years fighting the VA for coverage. And I don't know the details of her case, but I mean, we've all heard of those issues before, where somebody has issues, whatever it might be, and it takes the VA a long time to get you processed. And it is really sad. And I think this is something that if the president really wanted to focus on it, I would welcome that like you wouldn't believe. As far as your weather for this weekend, a sunny today, warm high of 87, feeling like 88.
For this weekend?
What did I say, this weekend? Today.
I wish it was Friday too,
sunny
man.
and warm, high of 87, feeling like 88.
Pushing it, aren't you, Dan?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. where's my you are fake news audio bite from President Trump? By the way, are you guys as much looking forward to the end of this special election in the 7th as I am?
Oh, yes. Yes. If I hear one more of those commercials, honestly.
I wonder if Jody Reed, and by the way, I like all these guys.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jody Reed has some outtakes of these commercials and use that as like his ringtone. You know what I mean? Because I mean, they're comical. They're absolutely comical, some of these commercials.
I appreciate how neutral and I guess you could say quiet Mason Foley has been about it. He was actually out at the event that I spoke at last Saturday, just there to be with people. He was not campaigning, not, passing out any handouts or anything. And it just is kind of funny to me how some people are quiet and just, hey, let's get to the debate and I'll give my perspective on what I would do. And then you've got the liberal D-bag commentary, which just cracks me up every time I hear it.
Here's what's interesting, though. So, the Democrats were trying to flip that district, right? They had hopes of flipping that district Democrat. This is the headline from the Tennessee Star. Total collapse. Democrats underwhelmed by TN7 early voting turnout despite effort to flip the district blue. I guess they're just not excited about the Democrats who are running in that race. Is Afton Bain, is she in the 7th? Is she running in the 7th? I think she is.
Yes, I believe she is.
All right. Early voting in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District special primary election have come in lower than expected for Democrats, despite efforts to mobilize voters in the traditionally Republican stronghold. While the 7th District has been represented by Republicans since 1983, Democrats have hoped increased engagement could make the race more competitive, but apparently no. They say turnout figures at the halfway point of the early voting period for the special primary have proven underwhelming for Democrats, especially in the Democratic stronghold at Davidson County. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Afton Bain, she's not a strong candidate. She's nuts. She is. She's nuts.
She was on the stage this weekend, getting everyone all riled up over the Memphis stuff.
Okay.
She's just out there.
Do you know what I would say to anybody who wants? I said this in the 5 o'clock hour. If you are out there riled up, you're all mad because Donald Trump's sending in the National Guard to Memphis, I would invite those people to go walk the streets of Memphis between 10 p.m. and 1 or 2 a.m. On any Saturday night. Just go do it then.
Same premise for the Free Palestine folks.
Oh,
go see what happens.
Gracious. Yeah. Yeah, go walk around, Gaza and, see how your freedom of speech works there. They say through Wednesday, September 24th, the cumulative total for Davidson County was 3,086 in-person early votes. When combined with absentee votes, the Tennessee Secretary of State's office shows the cumulative total for the county through Wednesday is 3,343 votes. Let's see here. Trying to figure out all the numbers. I don't want to lose myself in all of the numbers. I do find it interesting, though, that Democrats just aren't coming out. Lisa Quigley, who formerly served as retired Democrat U.S. Representative Jim Cooper's chief of staff, suggested the low turnout so far among Democrats in Davidson County represents a total collapse of electoral engagement in Nashville. So there you go. Maybe they've got professional, cheerers. I don't even know if that's a word. But, that we've got professional instigators or antagonists, right, paid for by George Soros and perhaps others. Reed Hoffman, is that what his name is?
Yeah.
So maybe they've got professional cheerers. They go on and they get paid to cheer on Afton Bain at her little events. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the loudest and the proudest. But the bottom line is that the Democrats were hoping to flip the 7th. And if this is any indication, clearly they're not going to be able to do it. And the people are really angry. We talked about this earlier. Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show. Massive Trump hater, anti-ICE activist. He called ICE SOBs. And the thing that I don't understand, though, like, is it Roger Goodell? Is he still the guy?
Yeah, he is.
So who thought it was a good idea? Who went to Roger Goodell to say, hey, let's have a guy do the halftime show for the Super Bowl who actually has no songs in English? Like, all of his songs are in Spanish. Not even one.
And the fact that he's anti-ICE is beyond laughable because he's Puerto Rican.
Right.
Like, it's a whole lot easier to come from Puerto Rico to the U.S. than it would be from Mexico or any other, nation because they're a territory.
Well, and here's the thing. Clearly, the guy is just, he's a leftist, and he is anti-Donald Trump, and we got a whole bunch of leftists all over the country that were born here. And he clearly, I don't know what he considers himself, but clearly he's anti-Donald Trump. And but I just on the surface of it, you have an artist who, forget about all the politics involved, he doesn't do any songs in English.
Yep.
Like, you have a mostly, I could understand maybe if it was like the soccer Super Bowl or whatever they do in soccer, but football is an American sport. And you've got a dude that doesn't do any songs in English and is a Donald Trump hater. They just, again, the NFL just can't help themselves.
You know who the people really wanted to perform this year? I'm not even making this up.
Taylor Swift?
Nope.
No? Metallica. See, that would have been smart. I would have watched that.
They would have rocked it. Because and when you think about halftime performances,
Yep.
It's supposed to get you out of your seat if you're at the game. You're supposed to crank it up if you're watching at home.
Yeah.
It's supposed to add to that. And I get that his music's got good beats to it, but I want to know what's being said in the song. Is that so awful?
He's also, it's football.
By the way, there's a picture of him in a dress.
Yeah,
Have
that's
you
what
seen
I was
that,
just
Joan?
going to say. It's football, and this is a guy that dresses up in dresses and puts on nails and, like studs on his face. Like, it's weird. It's weird.
The NFL is just, you know what? Here's the deal. First of all, I'm not a watcher of this. I haven't seen a Super Bowl in years. I'm not saying that I don't watch football, but I haven't seen a Super Bowl in a long time. Certainly have not seen a halftime show in years, and I certainly won't be seeing this one. The left, though, is out there trolling the people that are upset about this. They're like, oh, y'all always complain about who the halftime show is, but then you just watch the game anyway. And I think that's going to be true here. I don't know if there's anybody who is an NFL fan who will not watch the Super Bowl because Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show.
Yeah.
We just won't watch the halftime show.
That'll be a cigar break for me. I'll be stepping outside to have it. And to that point, I would argue the last good halftime show, not saying great, last good one was The Weeknd. I'm all for, throwing hip hop into halftime shows.
Sure.
He did there was a whole lot of people that came out, big coordinated dance number, outfit changes, the whole nine. That's what you want.
When was The Weeknd?
Like 2021.
I'm a big Weeknd fan, believe it or not.
Really?
Amy, dude sounds exactly, nobody cares about this, but dude sounds exactly like Michael Jackson. It is uncanny. He can sound like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He doesn't always sound like him. He's got a lot of versatility in his singing. So, yeah, but I think Metallica, here's the thing. Here's what I would say, and I'm not going to belabor the point more than I already have. But don't you want an artist that is going to be, and I'm not calling Metallica generic, but don't you want somebody who is mainstream enough that everybody can agree that that's a great pick?
Yeah.
Bad Bunny is not a great pick. Dude wears a dress. He's got prettier nails than Joan does. I mean, come on. And
Spends more on them.
Probably spends more on him. And
He definitely spends more on his line of clothes than I do.
Yes.
And they're prettier than my clothes. It's just weird.
Yeah, but Joan,
Yeah.
he's not prettier than you are.
Gosh,
Sam, back me
thanks.
up on this. I know the super texters are going to be like, oh, Joan's number one. She's so pretty. Dan, you're such a small, short, fat, bald troll. I know. I see it every single time. Hey, whatever.